What is the second big threat to be concerned about right now?
Kelly, the second big threat right now is the threat of higher future taxes. And if you're in or nearing retirement, the timing couldn't be worse. Most people believe that they'll be paying far fewer taxes all through retirement. And I get that because you're no longer earning a paycheck. But unfortunately, that won't be the case for most hardworking Americans. By the time you add up the taxes on your IRA and 401k withdrawals, taxes on your Social Security benefits, and taxes on your other investment income, real estate, dividends, you name it, you could end up paying even more taxes in retirement.
Tyson, but I also think the situation is much worse than most people realize, and here's why. The government has gone on an unprecedented spending spree between economic stimulus, new infrastructure, social policy bills, the Inflation Reduction Act, the Student Loan Forgiveness Plan. Can you feel this? The list goes on. And now the national debt is more than 31 trillion with a T. So you really have to ask yourself, how does all of this money get paid back? It's important to understand that the government doesn't have any money of its own, so the only way is to repay this money by increasing taxes.
I'm curious, how high do you think tax rates could go?
Well, Kelly, the highest federal income tax rate right now is 37%. Do you have any idea what it was in the early 80s? The highest federal income tax rate was 70%, with a 70. Now, I'm not saying the taxes will go back to 70%, but I am saying there's a lot of room for the government to raise your taxes. Look, anybody can do the math here. We have the highest debt in our country's history, and we have the lowest federal income tax rates in over 40 years. So what do you think is going to happen? Well, the answer is obvious. We need to raise taxes.
But I thought the government had promised not to raise taxes on anyone making less than $400,000. Is that still true?
Well, unfortunately, we've been doing this for a long time. And with retirees, when it comes to your IRAs and 401ks, that does not look like it's going to be the case, because according to the Joint Committee on Taxation, a nonpartisan committee of the United States Congress, they said, quote, in 2023, taxes will increase by $16.7 billion on American taxpayers earning less than $200,000 and nearly $17 billion tax targeted solidly at the low to middle income class earners, end quote. And unfortunately, Kelly, I think this is just the beginning of what's to come.
Wow. So how would these higher taxes impact retirees?
That's why we're doing the show today, Kelly, is because if you're recently retired or nearing retirement, these tax increases, well, they couldn't come at a worse time. Each time you make a withdrawal from your IRA or your 401k or other retirement account, a large portion of your savings will end up going to Uncle Sam, and you'll ultimately be left with a lot less money to spend all through retirement. The same will be true of any income from your Social Security benefits and other investment income from dividends, real estate, and more.
So Tyson, there's one more thing that I want to mention here, and nobody's talking about this right now, and it's really important. And it's something called legislative risk. Legislative risk is the risk that the government can change the rules of the game whenever and anytime that they want. And the government right now could double your taxes overnight. And here's how it would happen is they could change the rules on your IRA and 401k. Ed Slott, called by the Wall Street Journal as America's IRA tax expert, said that really your IRA is really an IOU to Uncle Sam, and he's not even your real uncle. So here's the other way that this could look is they could cut your Social Security benefits drastically. You'll see in the headlines 2034, 2035 that we need to make some changes, and they can do whatever they want, and they don't have to ask you for your permission. And so what's more important is that as you're nearing retirement, you really need to pay attention to these things because we want to help you to Washington-proof your retirement so that when the government does change the rules, you may not be impacted by it because you have a plan.